hair is freshly washed and pressed. But you ain't gonna believe this. Wait. You're not really finna believe this. Ain't nobody finna talk to me. I mean, like, not one man is gonna step to me and say, "What's good, ma?" Like, not one man is gonna have the gall to come push up on me and offer to buy me a drink. And you see, I don't understand why I be getting so fine, because who am I doing it for? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing it because I got a husband at home and I want him to think I look sexy, okay? So if you see me out and, you know, you feel like you're a good candidate for me, you know, like, and I would feel like you're a good candidate for me also, holler at me. Otherwise, I'm going to go home by myself again tonight. But I'm going to wake up single tomorrow again. Damn.
I mean, she look like kind of like Erykah Badu, like a while back. She look good, man. A lot of women, that's the problem. A lot of women look good. But I got to ask yourself, if you find yourself looking good and you're out in public and men aren't coming up to you on a consistent basis, right? Because, I mean, not every man is going to think time and place, right? So it might be a situation where you running and rushing and doesn't look like you would want to be approached. But in my experience and what I'm hearing from a lot of guys is that a lot of women, their disposition towards men overall, their facial expressions, their body language doesn't look so inviting to where a guy would want to come up to you and, you know, offer to buy you a drink or offer to take you out. It's rough out here, man. People see each other and see the worst in each other. And I think if somebody was to come up to me and smile or come up to me and say, "How you doing?" at least I'll return that back. But I know that, you know, if I come into a place, right, and I see a woman that I'm interested in, right, and I come through, if we gonna call them Lady A and Lady B. Lady A comes by, got this type of look on her face that it's a lot of sass, or it's a lot of attitude in it, or it has a I don't care attitude, or whatever, that a negative attitude, a negative energy to it. She doesn't want to be bothered. She's just in the wrong vibe, right? I might still go up to her, but chances are maybe the way I go up to her is changed because of that. If you come up to a girl like what I'm going to explain with Lady B is going by, and just a simple eye contact that is a positive look shows a little bit of interest, you know, that she's inviting, something that shows the person that you're in a good mood, that you're inviting. And again, there's ways to practice that. There's such things as good and bad body language, facial expressions, good and bad. You know, it's a lot of things that are unspoken when you meet someone. They call it vibes, they call it energy, but a lot of it is body language, things that are unspoken. And before you even say a word, it speaks volumes about you. If you want quality guys to look at you and say, you know what, I bet she's enjoyable. I bet she's a joy to be around. I bet she would be a good catch. Then it would be a good idea to give a glimpse of that, you know, just in the slightest way. It's no different if I was to come across a lady and if I'm around and I got a scowl on my face, I look like I'm upset with life, then nobody wants to be around me. And that's men and women, right? Friends, whoever wants to be around you, networking, business partners. You want to be around people that are positive and that have a more positive outlook on life, that think they can do it, and they're looking for solutions, and they're looking at what they can do versus what they can't do. They're willing to talk about and want to be around things they have a passion about, and not the negative things all the time, right? And so for me, pretty much in every city I've lived in, I've had to basically build a new network. And part of that was I learned a lot about myself. When you don't have anybody, you have really no excuses to lean on who you know, right? You don't have anybody. So how do you meet people when you don't know anybody? So I think that's a big deal. I think that's a big part of it too. You know what I mean? It's not even that guys are scared to come up. I just think guys don't want to deal with a poison pill. They don't want to deal with someone who's going to bring their life down and who thinks that guys are beneath them and that they are better than the average guy, you know, and that you have to jump through hoops to be with this woman. I think most men are just done with that.
Men say, yo, we want this. You can't just keep saying, nah, it don't matter what y'all want. I'm still a good woman. Good to who? You have to be good to the consumer. They gotta buy what you selling.
Amen.
If nobody buying what you selling, then what? Think about it. When you go to a job interview, right? You don't come in there saying, I do marketing great. They're like, but ma'am, this is an accounting position. I honestly feel like women, we are the worst when it comes to this.
We are.
Because dudes are telling us every day physique is a big thing to them. But we like, oh, but I'm smart and I got a business. No one gives a.
And it's amazing that a lot of women, especially right today, a lot of boss bitches, a lot of business women out here doing their thing, and I salute you, I congratulate you. But you need to bring that type of thought process to relationships in the dating game. What she was just saying, when you go on the job interview, you impressing the boss, you know, you don't care, you know, you all about working and doing whatever it takes to run your business, to do your business the right way. And I would hope that, especially if you're successful, you look at the results and the feedback and try to get better, optimize and get more efficient, and continue to try to improve your business in order to get better results. If you looked at yourself in the same way in the marketplace, gauge the marketplace and looked at what the marketplace values, listen to your customers and listen to the market, then you would have more successful results in the dating game. It may not necessarily always, because I hear women say, well, I tried that and it didn't work. Well, you got to continue to try. That's like anything, right? And once you get the right process going, then you can go from there. You know, you have a whole system laid out. It's the same thing with relationships, right? You get a system laid out, who you trying to target, what you offer, the whole nine from start to finish, right? And your desired result. And until you get that result, you keep trying, you keep perfecting that process. It's no different in relationship game. But I think what happens is it's too personal for relationships, right? You take everything personally, and instead of just working on yourself, you just decide, oh, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this for no man. And the bottom line is, it's important to have each other, right? Men and women, we both need each other. You need two incomes in the household. Unless you're absolutely filthy rich, one person and the other. If you are 6 figures or lower, you need 2 incomes in the household. When we're talking about generational wealth or trying to build that and pass things down to someone else, to the next generation, you need to make more than 1 income. So just off the top, the faster you get to where you got 2 people in the households working towards a common goal, you're winning. You're winning, right? Because all these women saying that they're making money, and that's all they're gonna do is concentrate on that. Well, you can't die with your money. You know what I mean? You can't take it with you. So who you giving it to? That's a whole nother conversation, because succession is a bitch. I've seen that fail massively when you're just chasing money and then you die off, and then what? Whatever you built, it's gone. The government gets it, or family members might get it and fuck it off. So I hate to see people go through a whole life of not being able to find someone, all because of ego, all because they decided not to bring value to the person that they're seeking value from. Guys have been telling you, here's what we need, here's what we want, and some women are just not gonna give it to a man, regardless of what it is. And that's amazing stuff. Pets, hell, a lot of women out here, they'll clean up after a pet, they'll serve a pet, and the pet will never do anything for them. Cats or dogs, they only loyal because you're feeding them. A man, you know, oh man, why you don't do this? You gonna nag a man to death. And I think a lot of guys are just kind of getting frustrated and fed up about it.
They did a qualitative study where they actually asked black men, why do they believe that black women are the least desired group of women, the least likely to be married, and the least likely to be remarried? And the very first answer, the black men said, it's black women's attitudes, the masculinity, the emasculation, the being stubborn, being difficult, being combative. No desire to be interdependent or submissive or cooperative or friendly or sweet. So they're talking about character flaws within black women as a community that they see that is so prevalent that it's generalizable. Oh, and we can see it in everyday life as well. So when you factor that into the equation, you see why it becomes even more difficult for a black man to choose to marry a black woman.
If I'm too masculine around you, it's simply because I'm not for you. You're not the man for me, and I'm not the woman for you, because women naturally submit to men that they feel safe and comfortable around.
Baby, the math is not mathing. And I have said this once, and I will say it again. No man wants no aggressive ass woman. If you're upset about something and you know you're talking with a little bit more aggression in your voice, a little bit more passion in your voice, okay. But when you just over the top aggressive, don't nobody want to deal with that. And no man wants a woman with all this aggression and masculine ass energy. And I've never understood why so many women don't understand that. Because let you detect any type of feminine energy in a man, y'all will drag him through the mud. Hell, men can't even eat certain foods or drink certain drinks at a restaurant without y'all trying to say he's feminine. But you want him to deal with that aggressive ass masculine personality that you got.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a deep dive right there. But the times are bad, right? When you're arguing, you have differences. How do you get over those differences? And I think when the men that I've talked with, they're saying that, you know, a lot of women like to hit low blows, right? You know, it's F your mama, F your daddy, and you did this and you did that. And a lot of men can't even express certain things that are issues for them, you know, or things that they're emotional about without it being blown back up in their face. Blame and the guilt. A lot of this stuff is toxic. And I see a lot of people doing this, and I'm like, man, you guys have been in a relationship for how long? Or you guys are married. Like, that's not how marriage's supposed to go. But I get it. A lot of people grow up in toxic homes with a lot of domestic issues that happen, a lot of domestic fights, and that's all they know. That's what they think is a healthy relationship. And so that's another thing, you know, I think a lot of us got to look out for is how was you raised? On some TK shit, who raised you, right? Like really, like how was you raised, right? How do you deal with conflicts? If your only way of dealing with conflicts is arguing and fighting, then it's gonna be an issue. Most likely, you're gonna have to argue and fight that woman, and that's not what I'm trying to do. In no way am I intimidated, but I feel like some guys don't want to deal with the issues, but deal with the drama. That's it. Because some guys, after a while, they don't want to talk. They used to, I gotta combat somebody, I gotta come home from a long day at work to come home to combat somebody, we're gonna have some problems. You know, some guys deal with conflict differently as well, right? And you see guys that don't know how to communicate, and that's all they could do is get aggressive, and they got anger issues. Then probably those guys are gonna hit women more, you know what I mean? And probably slap you around. And so it's up to women to see, you know, the type of guy they're dealing with too, how they deal with conflict. Conflict management is a big deal in relationships. It's easy to get through the good times, right? When everything's going good, it's easy. But when you have conflicts, when you have issues you got to work through, that's when you see who's fit to be in a relationship or not. And I think if you're the type of person who prides yourself on being dramatic and having drama and fighting the man that you're with and arguing with the man that you're with and egging the man on and having attitude all the time and being negative and being nagging all the time. Some people nag just to you know, because they have issues mentally and they're going through a lot of different things mentally that's going unchecked, haven't been to therapy, and they're just nagging the person just because they need attention, or they need something addressed, and it hasn't been diagnosed. They haven't dug so deep, and it's just some of the worst, you know, people to be with are people who are so egotistical, right? Where they don't want to be told what to do, but they also don't tell themselves what to do, or they don't tell themselves the right things to do. So they need help. Nothing worse than someone who needs help but has a big ego and don't want to take help. And this is stuff we're going to be talking about quite a bit, you know, 'cause like I said, this is a deeper issue in the community from both sides. Like I said, men and women, we got to deal with our emotion and be disciplined more and understand that we can feel what we feel, but at the end of the day, we got to start looking at the greater good. And any issues that we start to have, we might have to just go to therapy or to talk it out or to really think about it, really give it that attention that it needs so that we can heal. You know, not just physically, but mentally. Like, and a lot of things we just never get over. A lot of trauma we dealing with every day. And a lot of us, you know, we deal with trauma so much, we just overlook it and keep moving and keep building trauma instead of addressing it. But yeah, man, you know how it is out here, you know. It's a never ending. I want to talk your ear off. You know what I'm saying? I could do that. Hit the comment section. Y'all know what to do about that like button now. Bang on it. Bang on that like button. But yeah, man, I really appreciate y'all. Until next time, we out.